with a black velvet band. That NCO's part is your part.
Hey,
Hey.
we're live. It's been a while since we've been live on Technomadia.
Yeah, I think it was like December when we were back in Benson with Zephyr and at our Escape Saguaro RV park after we got there.
Oh, that was
Yeah, we
all
showed
the
up
way
the
back in December. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we've been posting a lot of produced videos lately to fill in the time of our time in Arizona and the trip back and the mobile internet
yeah,
and
we're
stuff
trying
like
to
that. So
balance out the produced versus the live, and I think we're going to be doing a lot more, probably of both going forward, because we're about to be doing a lot more interesting
things.
travel. Spoiler alert: we're going back on the Great Loop. So
Yeah, in about a month. So our countdown is on. We are so excited. But we've been back in Sanford, Florida, aboard our boat, Why Not, which is where we are broadcasting from tonight. For about 2 months, we arrived back after our 5 months out in the van, and 2 months of that being out in Benson with Zephyr.
it goes fast.
Yeah, I know.
It really goes fast. And then looking at the countdown of like we got 1 month left. We've given notice to the marina. It's kind of official. You know, we're actually pulling up routes from Sanford after having
Been here for
yeah,
4 years.
yeah, we came here for ours. Why is the camera frozen? That's not good. Okay, there was I don't know if that glitch broadcast or not, but our camera seemed to have frozen. I think that might be a camera issue. So yikes.
It's an iPhone issue?
It could be an iPhone issue.
Oh,
The iPhone's
goodness.
not hardwired to this, so I could bring up the view so I could switch to the internal camera if it goes out again. But yeah, show camera switcher window just in case.
Just in case without
Just in case it goes out. So,
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we first came to Sanford. Well, first came to Sanford 5 years ago with a 1 week reservation. Ended up staying for the winter season, and then resumed the Great Loop. It was just a side trip off doing the St. John's
Yeah.
River before we continued on.
We came with a 1 week reservation. We fell in love with this town, stayed for months, and then when we hit back on the loop, and then this thing called a pandemic hit and stuff, and we're like, we're gonna have to shelter in place. Where do we want to go? We doubled back and called Sanford. The marina loved us, so they're like, yeah, we'll get you in. We'll make you residents so you can still get here. And
Yeah, because it was scary times back then.
marinas were shutting down and turning people away.
Marinas were not accepting transients.
Yes.
Sometimes we heard reports of the Coast Guard pulling people away if they were out actively cruising. So we didn't even know if we could get anywhere. Never mind get all the way back from Charleston to back to Sanford. So we hightailed it. It's the fastest cruising we've done yet. And yeah, the boat has been based here in Sanford for the past 4 years. We have not.
No, we've done plenty of travel.
We have done lots of van trips. We've typically left when it gets too freaking hot here, which is somewhere around June, July, and have stayed out in the first 5-6 months at a time, just roaming around in the van.
Yeah.
And we've done some cruising.
Yeah, we've done some
too.
boat trips, but the difference was we were always keeping our slip here because, you know, this marina is full, was damaged by the hurricane, so if we leave, we couldn't get our slip back. So it is kind of a big deal that we've told them this is it, you know, not in any bad fashion. It's just, it's time for us.
4 years is a long time for nomads to be, even though we've been part-time stationary here, it has been a long time. We absolutely love Sanford. There's so much amazing here. You saw in the video entry some of the events that we've had here. We came back specifically for Porch Fest, which is like 80 bands on the historic neighborhood back there performing on 18
different residential porches. It's an all for free big neighborhood block party. It has become one of the premier music festivals in Central Florida. Even the bands are donating their time to raise money, and you get an incredible amount of talent.
That's an amazing event. There was a short film festival that is all weekend long.
Love your shorts, yes.
Love that. So we're back for that. There's been Mardi Gras stuff. There's been
and then just Sanfording. You know.
We have so many friends here that we coming back to Sanford every time we
live theater West End.
Yes, but every time we pull back in, it's instantly being greeted by our dog neighbors here at the downtown Sanford Marina, which is just feels like coming home. Our friends, we go to the local businesses and they recognize us. They ask how our trip had been. And yeah, it's
So
just
why are we leaving again?
because the world is out there to explore. Yeah, but we are kind of the events that happen here in Sanford, they happen every year, kind of on a routine, and we've done them all 4 times. So
Exactly. So we love Porch Fest. We love Your Shorts. We will come back someday to do all of these things again. But yeah, we're ready for some fresh pastures. And it's been so long since we've been on the Great Loop. We should probably explain for anybody who just happens to be tuning in what on earth this Great Loop thing is.
So we bought our boat back in 2017, 7 years ago, to do what is called the American Great Loop.
Ooh, which sounds exciting.
It is exciting. Less people do the American Great Loop each year than climb Mount Everest.
A lot less, yeah.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
So it is a circumnavigation of the inland waterways of the eastern part of the U.S. It's about 6,000 miles of cruising, plus lots of little side trips, like coming down here to Sanford via the St. Johns River, which you don't see on that map.
It's not even an official side trip.
But a lot of people do this. Well, by a lot, I mean it's like 100 to 150 a year that do this.
I think this past year is 220.
Oh, really? A lot.
They set a record this past year.
Amazing.
220 boats.
It'll be a lot more crowded out there. But a lot of people do it in 1 year following the good weather.
Yeah. So the classic loop route is winter in Florida, spring in the Chesapeake and up the East Coast, summer in Canada, where that's the only time there's a boating season. Fall, you're going down through the rivers systems and through Tennessee and everything like that, enjoying the fall colors. And then winter back in Florida. And there's some people who've been looping years and years and years. They just keep repeating, following perfect weather. We started off when we got our boat. We started off
in Punta Gorda, Florida. So on the west coast side of mid-Florida. And then we slowly worked our way down to, after we figured out what the heck a boat was and how to drive one, we had gone from having an inflatable kayak to a 47-foot motor yacht. So a bit of a jump. We had some learning to do. We got down to the Keys just in time for Hurricane Irma.
Yay, Irma.
Our timing is impeccable. And Why Not thankfully survived that ordeal. She was one of about 20% of the boats in the Marathon area of the Keys, which took the direct Category 4 strike of that storm, that was not severely damaged.
Until after.
And then we damaged her on the way out and had to be hauled out.
In Miami. There's lots of videos about all that. But and then we got back on the loop, but we were always intending to be slow loopers. We coined the term sloopers, I think, of, just we're not trying to do it in that 1 year pace because there's so many awesome places to stop for extended stays. And with marinas, often staying for a month costs no more than staying for a week. And so you're in a historic, amazing place like Charleston or something like that. And we just kept taking long stays, and we were still working more than full time at the time. So we got as far north as Charleston before the pandemic, and then doubled back here, as we talked about. So now...
So we are intending to restart probably in about a month, late April-ish. And we will take a quicker pace to get up to Charleston. And then find the pace that works for us, and then find somewhere to store Why Not this winter. There is some possibility that we might get crazy and complete the whole loop in a year. I kind of doubt it. We're really, really, really good at finding distractions.
We love distractions. And, now that we're working half-time, we're hopefully going to have more time for distractions and more time for cruising days. And so,
we'll see how it balances out. We have heard that cruising the Chesapeake alone can take a year. We're not setting intentions. What we are setting out to redo might resemble the Great Loop one day. That's all we're saying. But I would not be at all surprised that we don't get much further north than the Chesapeake this year. We might, because there's so much amazing to explore there that we will probably get distracted.
Or if we go further north than Chesapeake, we might end up doubling back for storing, because the Chesapeake is about as far north as you can go and still store in the water without having to
do massive winterization.
So we might find a place to store. We haven't thought that far ahead yet.
We'll figure it out. It'll all come together. But we do have some logistics still to work out before we can set off. Number one is, what do we do with our camper van?
Oh, wait, we have a camper van.
Yes, we have.
And we're about to take a trip in the camper van, too.
We are. So we are planning to go out next week, actually, leaving from here, going up to Paris, Texas for the Escapers and Escapees event around the big solar eclipse. So
it's the moon,
we
sun.
missed it in 2017 because we were down in the Keys with our brand new
getting
boat
ready
preparing for hurricane. We didn't know we were prepping for hurricane, but we
Yes.
were. And we were so tired after getting down there.
So we only had the partial eclipse down in the Keys. So this year we're really determined.
We have heard from so many people who did the full eclipse, did the full totality, that it is life-changing,
amazing, epic.
So we're making the effort to go see the full one. And
particularly because we did the trip last fall to the summer and whatever to go see the Ring of Fire, not a full total eclipse, but a full Ring of Fire eclipse in Oregon, and got clouded out. So this time we are going to not see the sun.
And if it looks like it's going to be cloudy, we are finding somewhere else to go. Yes. So yeah, we'll make that little side trip up over to Texas and then come back. And as soon as we're back in Florida, we're not going to do the whole Escapers event. It's like an 8-day event. And there still is room. You can still sign up to the end of March. So if you're looking for a place to be for the eclipse and you're an Escapers member, there's still availability through, I think, March 30th is when they're taking the last reservation. So come join us for that if you need a place to do the eclipse at. Like I said, we have heard from multiple people, do not miss this.
Yep. And we'll be heading out just over a week and starting out there. So
Yep. So then we will get back shortly after the eclipse here in Sanford. And then trying to find what we're going to do with Blooper while we go away. So typically when we cruised for longer, we were like taking month-long marina stays, so we would just leave Blooper stored at her last marina.
Blooper is our van,
our camper van. We would leave her stored at the last marina and then find a way to get back to her or have a friend drive her up to us and get her up to our next marina and use her as our local transport.
But since we're going to work. Yeah, since we're going to try to avoid doing monthly stays, we need a place to store Blooper for, until potentially the fall. So we're about to start hunting down for van storage somewhere in maybe Florida somewhere.
Yeah, we're thinking Central Florida. We have family here in the area that could check on her. A lot of friends who we could trust with checking in on her.
But we haven't even started to research it, so we're open to tips and
we're
ideas and suggestions.
We're trying to think through all the possibilities of where we end up at the end of the next fall, where we would presumably be storing Why Not for winter.
And then have to get back to our van.
And get back to the van. How do we get back to the van? Yes. Do we want the van positioned further up the coast? Will one of us go back and get the van and drive her up to where Why Not is and move aboard? How much stuff do we leave aboard so that we can just fly back? We're trying to figure out all these logistics. Yes. But if you have a storage place you've used in Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa, Brooksville,
maybe
Melbourne,
Jacksonville,
Jacksonville area or something like that.
Or somewhere that is convenient to the Loop and us, perhaps. Let us know. We're open to suggestions.
Yeah, we would love to hear recommendations.
Ideally, something covered just because, sun and rain, but, maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, we're getting Blooper professionally washed and waxed before we put her in storage to give her maximum protection. But yeah, so if you know of a storage lot or a storage situation or someone trustworthy that has land that we could rent from,
a hangar,
or something like that, let us know. We're putting that out there. And then once Blooper is stored, we've been working on provisioning the boat. We've been doing some upgrades. We just changed out our anchor chain, which we saw in the intro video.
Yeah, so now we can anchor in much deeper water, and we got fresh new chain. And,
so we went from 120 feet of chain that had originally come with our boat, and we went
to. It was getting a little crusty.
It was getting crusty. It was over 20 years old, and we went up to 300 feet, and we changed from the BBB to
G4. Yeah, so we got more modern chain, stronger, lighter.
Which meant we had to change out the Gypsy on the windlass to accommodate.
Turned into a product. Everything on a boat is like, this should be simple, but then the bolts are rusted and this and that, and everything turns into way more complicated.
It's all working now. And while we did that upgrade in the chain replacement and the Gypsy chain jout thing, we added in a remote control for the windlass.
So wireless, so we can now actually deploy and retrieve the anchor from the helm, particularly for bad weather. That can be quite useful, and it's just another way to do this. Another way to control. So if we're tearing everything apart, ripping all the pieces out, anytime something breaks or anytime something needs to be worked on a boat, we consider it jumping to the top of the upgrade list. And so we always try to think, what can we do to make it better? Hey, wireless remote. So hey, there we go.
Yeah, that was fun. And our friend Dave, who aboard Stinkpot, we had coordinated. He also wanted to change out his chain, and he wanted our old chain as ballast for his boat to balance out some battery weight he had on one side. So he got our old chain to give him some more weight on one side of the boat. He helped us with the project, which was
we both
really
basically did
fun.
the same project.
Yep.
So
So it was a lot of fun to do boat projects with friends together. Our friends on Stigpot left last week. They are now starting their cruise up to the Chesapeake. So hopefully we'll catch up with them. If you remember them, we have done joint cruising up and down the river together in the past. Not this time, but hopefully we'll catch up with them in the Chesapeake.
And so other boat projects,
the house batteries.
Yes. House batteries we aren't getting to yet. We'll talk about that in the future. But the starting batteries, our starting batteries were 5-6 years old, and one of them was basically dead. We had issues with it when we did our cruise down to Georgia and back last summer, and so we knew it was some questions with it. And we did indeed test it out, and it's like that battery was dead. So. That means the other one was likely going to be soon following it, so we just replaced the.
They were 8Ds.
8Ds.
Is what we had in there.
And so we We don't really need the big, huge honking 8Ds for starting our engine or the things we're doing. So we actually downsized to Group 31s. It gives us a little bit less weight, more storage space, and should work out just fine. And if not, we can always add an extra Group 31 to the mix. So that's been a project. Is changing out our starting battery setup.
And the battery boxes.
And just kind of cleaning up that whole chamber. So that's actually what's working on that earlier today. Boat projects, there's always something, and there's always a rusted screw or something that you've got to fight with vice grips.
But we did a lot when we did our cruise last summer. We had the boat up at Lamb's Yacht Center in Jacksonville and had a whole bunch of upgrades. We had new hatches put in. We had a new macerating toilet put in, had the bottoms redone.
No, we've been doing lots of boat projects while we've been in Sanford, just over the years. So our boat is feeling really great. We're quite excited to get out and get living in it again. Well, we've been living in it, cruising in it on the water. Knock on fiberglass and wood and stuff, because things will break and then we'll have to upgrade them.
Otherwise life is good. We're still keeping up with our running. We both did record 10Ks this morning.
My second fastest 10K. Your fastest, yes, but yeah, we've been getting serious in running. And do you want to admit what you're starting to think about?
I don't know. Should I say it?
Say it out loud.
I don't know. Okay, so we did a half marathon race in February. It's a trail run here for a local fundraiser for the state forest. I improved my pace so much. So I pushed myself to a 15-mile run.
It was just a fun run on a random weekend.
Fun run.
She's like, I want to run 15 miles. And I'm like, really? And she's like, I want to see what I do on pavement, not on a trail. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I did really well with it. I've done another half marathon since then. And I think I'm going to continue to push myself and possibly get up to marathon length. Here, that's as much as I'm committing to.
So we actually are starting to think about, when we come off our cruising season in the fall, maybe finding a marathon of some sort to sign up for that is suitable and fun, a suitable fun marathon that doesn't have wait lists and lottery systems to get in, that is fun for our slower runners, that are it's not just catering to the crazy fast people. So because I did a marathon for my 50th, and I'm ready for a second. So
we also got new bicycles. So we used to have Ejo folding e-bikes. So we sold those, found new local owners for them. And after test riding a whole bunch of bikes, thanks to our riding friends here who happens to own the bike shop in town.
He let us try a lot of things.
Let us try a lot of bikes. And then when we were on our van trip last fall, we tried a lot of bikes in our travels as well, test rode as many as we could. We settled on. We want to reveal what we got.
Of course, because it's in the video clip. The Specialized Vado SL. They're super light, so it's.
So they're full size e-bikes, but they are bikes first, second.
Yeah, so they're fitness bikes, and
they're only 36 pounds, and they are geared in such a way that they are meant to be ride like a regular bike without the electric, and you use the electric just when you need it, because we have really amped up our biking fitness as well, where we're doing 40-50 mile rides regularly, and we want to push that.
We did just a couple days ago, we rode all the way down to Altamont Springs for lunch at Torchy's Tacos, so 20 miles each way to get some amazing tacos, Austin style, coming here into the Orlando area. So Again, like bikes that can do that, and we didn't touch the electric on the way there, and only used a little bit on the way back. So that's the kind of bikes that we want. They were fun to ride.
So far, loving them. Yeah. So I think they're going to fit the style of biking. We still wanted the electric, so we thought about going non-electric since we're going lighter, and a lot cheaper to go yes. non-electric. But we decided it was worthwhile keeping electric and having a little bit there because
there's hills.
There's hills and places we'll be going. On longer rides, it still makes sense. We want to get into some sort of bike packing situation in the future. Yeah. And we provision with our bike. So we might have a grocery haul coming back with the electric will be appreciated.
Yeah. So we've really upped our bike game. We've upped our running game. We're upping our boat life.
Yeah,
and
we've got
to store our van. That's
and
the updates.
So we've also, we've been getting the boat more and more optimized for fitness because when we're at anchor or not able to get ashore for extended amounts of time, we still need to get our fitness days in. So we've got a nice weight rack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, another change to the boat. We've kind of converted the pilot house into a fitness room with a weight rack and an exercise bike.
Yeah, our helm chair is now a stationary bike.
Yes. So that is our helm chair inside. Cause we always drive from the upper helm.
Yeah.
But if we ever need to drive from the inside helm, we can get our miles pedaling while driving. We'll have to film that someday.
No, if we pedal where the boat, where the props move.
Yeah, so we'll hook up a chain to that. That'll add the resistance. You turn up the throttle on the props. That will be actually a blast. We'll have to do a whole little tour of the new fitness center once we clean up in there.
That'll be the April Fool's post for you. There you go.
Well, that'll be my incentive to clean the room.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, anything to get you to clean the room. I'm all for that. Yes.
It's the project room, so that's where all the tools end up sitting out as well.
Yeah, some people call it a pilot house. We call it a pile-it house.
Yes, pile things up. And it's also where Kiki naps. So it's her
the Admiral's ready room.
Yes.
But yeah, and Kiki got a clean bill of health. She's now 15 and a half years old, full-time traveling with us the entire time.
And we've been getting clean bills now. We're dealing with all our final doctor's appointments and stuff.
Oh, I got to have my first root canal.
Yeah,
hooray for adulting.
Root canal and crowns. She's a double queen now.
Yes, I had to get 2 crowns and a root canal. Of course, this all comes apart after we leave, being able to easily cross the border to Mexico for dental care. But
yeah, okay.
So anyway, we're kind of running out of things to babble about. So
that's why we're gonna take some questions. Yeah. And so if you want to talk about anything at all, while we're here,
nomadic
life. Well, who knows what could come up? Throw the questions into the chat. We're gonna hang out for a little bit and chat. And my beverage for questions is Show Pigeon IPA from Central 28 Brewery, which is a local brewery. We got to by bicycling, brought this beer back by Pannier. So this is my biking beer, and this is a really friggin' good IPA.
And I'm drinking a vintage 2024 Why Not water, because I have my blood work this week with my doctor, so I'm being good.
She's being very good, but I got a Show Pigeon.
So you got questions? Cue them up.
Yeah, say hello. And
we are intending with the Great Loop, we'll probably pick up doing some sort of produced video series again on it. Probably not much. We're probably not much on the Charleston route. Maybe we'll do a little bit of getting started, kind of resuming, sharing more. Somehow boating videos are much more fun to produce. Van videos, I don't know. It's just
we always forget to film. The boating is so much slower pace and so much more to see. And
the scenicness of
the scenicness of boating encourages us to film more. And so we'll be probably filming more boating again, but who knows? We film. We do these videos for fun. We're not out to be sponsored and influencers or any of that noise. We just do this for fun. We might actually be doing some because we've been playing around. We've been doing more live videos over on the mobile internet resource side, our day job-ish stuff. So we're upping our live video game, and so we might play around with doing live cruise with us videos. So that could be interesting stuff where we'll just go live with multiple cameras around the boat and hang out and cruise a little bit. So I've got some ideas that will just be things that will be fun for us. So if you are interested in that, make sure you turn on the bell or whatever YouTube has to be notified, because YouTube doesn't like to share our channel because we don't let them insert ads in the middle of our content.
Much.
Well, not in the middle. Yeah, we
are on the longer ones.
They still go in the middle. They do that now?
They don't really give you a choice anymore.
Oh God. So YouTube. I hate ads.
But because we haven't been as active on YouTube in the last 4 years since the pandemic, we're out of the algorithm. So we keep a regular hearing from, oh, I've not seen a video from you in a year. I'm like, well, we're putting one out at least once a month.
Yes. So turn on the bell or the likes or whatever, so the algorithm
definitely,
knows you're
if you give our videos a thumbs up, please leave comments on our videos. That helps our channel get reactive, and the more incentive we have by engagement and views gives us the incentive to keep sharing. We're not incentivized by monetization, sponsorships, or any of that stuff. We're incentivized by interacting with you
and meeting cool people. So if you think we're coming your way, say hi, because we like to meet cool people. That's the best thing we've gotten out of doing YouTube for all these bazillion years.
So yes, click the like buttons, leave comments. I mean, that's the stuff.
Feed the algorithm. Yay,
that's the stuff that makes, well, number one, it makes YouTube happy, but more so, it makes us happy to know that the efforts we're putting into this are being appreciated. And so that really warms our hearts and keeps us incentivized to keep doing this. So thank you for that. Thank you for showing up for these. We so appreciate it.
We've only got one question queued up right here from Teak Shover, who's asked, are we currently in Benson? That Benson was where our last videos were from. That was in, we left Benson
at the first of the year.
So that Benson, for those who are just hopping in, Benson is where our vintage bus, I'll show our mini bus, for some who have not followed us forever. This is our other house. We've got our
to scale.
Not to scale. No, I've got magic shrink powers. Yes, this is our vintage bus, Zephyr, that we've restored and done amazing things with, and it lives in Arizona currently in the Escapee Saguaro Park in Benson, Arizona. And so we were living in Zephyr in November and December this past year.
At our lot there. And we did a nice video on the Escapee Saguaro co-op. So go look at that if you want to learn more about the co-op experience.
Yes.
But we left at the beginning of the year in our camper van and got back to Sanford in late January, where we currently are on our boat. There are no marinas no marinas in Arizona that can accommodate Wynot or that Wynot could get to. So.
Yes, I think back in the riverboat days, it would have technically been possible to go up the river from Yuma, but no, Arizona is not really boat accessible anymore. So no boating in Arizona. The Colorado River's dried up. But so we love Arizona. We love being out there. So that's where we're planning to be next winter.
The whole plan when we got the boat and got the co-op lot in Benson was that we would be storing the boat as we did the northern stuff so that we could maximize our summer cruising season in places where it gets cold for winter and spend more time in Arizona. That didn't manifest with the pandemic. So we are hoping this time around that reality will manifest where Wynot will have to be stored in boater unfriendly seasons, and then we will be back in the van and in Benson for longer amounts of time. So we're looking forward to more of that balance. And of course, we have family and friends in Florida, so we will always also figure out some way to. The country is way too big. That is the problem. There is way too many miles across to get from Arizona to Florida.
It makes it easier in the van, but it is still a big long trip. Although we always, every time we do it, that's why it takes us 5 months when we go out in the van. Is there's so much to see. We always find something new and exciting. We had a comment from Penelope, says a friend does the runs at Disney. It's a whole event. Yeah, indeed. The Disney marathons. We've got a friend, Anne, who's one of our running inspirations.
She is perfectly dopey. If you don't know what that means, and Anne might actually be on here somewhere, this is first day you run a 5K, second day you run a 10K, third day you run a half,
fourth day you run a full marathon, and then they give you like all the medals for all of that for being crazy and dopey. And perfectly dopey means she's done it every year that they've had this happening. So
it's like over 12 years now, I think. So
yeah, she's amazing. She's a run walker, and she is just inspiring. And she always says it's her last year, and then she says she goes again. So Anne, you're incredible. And the Disney runs. I mean, that almost seems like too big of a production and too crazy, and it's actually really hard to get into.
Yeah, it's sold out. And I'm
not a Disney enough person, I think, to want to go to the parks and just run through. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. We did
the Space Coast Marathon for his 50th.
That was my 50th
I did the half,
marathon.
And that was a really nice trail right along the Indian River. There was no wait list on it or anything like that. It was really easy to get in. It's mostly flat, a lot of shade, and it's in November. So that's a great event. So if we're in the area and that lines up, that might be the one we do again.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know where we're going to be this fall, but finding something cool is on the list. That says they get all our notifications, so thank you. You're feeding the algorithm in the good way, and we'll try to give you more reasons to have notifications. I think we'll be doing more fun stuff like this, particularly if people tune in. If the algorithm starts to get happy with us doing lives, we'll do more of them. So we'll see. It's fun and easy enough to do. So there we go. And Jay Harrison says, can't wait to see more of the Great Loop. So yeah,
we can't wait to see more of the Great Loop, and we can't wait to share it with you. So yeah, do anticipate that we might do random lives, maybe some while we're cruising, and sharing some of the beautiful scenery with you guys. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to the stops along the way. We're already here in Sanford. We have had a lot of loopers making the side trip down here before they continue on. So we've been meeting a lot of amazing loopers, and including Show and Joe.
If you haven't seen their YouTube channel, check it out.
Yeah, so they've sold their boat Pivot, so we got to meet the new owners.
Is that a spoiler? No, I think that's yeah. Their YouTube channel hasn't caught up. They're not YouTubing in real time, so they're still finishing the loop on their channel, but they've actually finished in real life and sold their boat.
So we got to meet them. They came to visit the new owners here, and I had a lovely evening hanging out with them. So
Pivot.
That was
a great, beautiful boat.
So it has been really good to meet other loopers who have completed the loop and coming back through and starting their second, to loopers in progress. So it's been really cool to kind of get back into that social vibe of kind of traveling as a herd, basically, through the loop.
And this is the loop season is starting up with people heading northbound. So it'll be interesting to get out and be back in the cruising world. We had a comment from Tina here. Says, been watching us for the past 100 years. We have only been on YouTube for 75 years, not 100 yet.
2009, apparently. And we're apparently like the second oldest RVing YouTube channel
that we know of. Yeah,
Long Honeymoon, I think, started just slightly before us. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's 100 years in YouTube years.
And Penelope points out YouTube keeps interrupting this live with ads. We try to tell YouTube not to interrupt things, but yay, YouTube, they gotta pay their investors or something. Sorry about that. And ads during a live are just the stupidest thing ever. YouTube, hi, algorithm, if you're watching, Mr. YouTube AI, don't do it, please. Don't. You don't need to squeeze every dollar from the lemon.
So Jay Harrison will be looping with another looper or going it alone. So we'll set out alone, but I'm sure we'll make friends along the way. That's kind of how the loop tends to work that we hear about, is you'll kind of find a group that's kind of going at a similar pace, and you'll meet friends and see them at next marina. So we'll be doing our own pace, and but looking forward to the friendships.
There's an app called Nebo that a lot of it's officially tied in with the Great Loop Association and stuff. So a lot of loopers see each other on that app, and they kind of move as a herd. You can see where other boats are. So if you're, we'll probably be playing with Nebo. So hey, loopers, reach out on Nebo. And I think there's other cool apps and stuff too. We'll be figuring it out. And Daz says they've been watching for 15 years, and they're from New Zealand. Oh my gosh.
Wow, thank you.
I want to get back to New Zealand. So maybe you will bump into us in our post-cat years.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, but yeah, New Zealand is actually where some of my first RVing experience was when I was growing up, and we took a vacation to New Zealand when I was living in Indonesia.
So I need to get there.
You need to get to New Zealand. It was like the most magical country I visited when I was growing up. So I want to get back to New Zealand. Why not? We'll not make it there, but I would love to go there and rent an RV. And yes. Oh, hey, what do we got here?
Something about electric hybrids.
Trucks to diesel electric hybrids. Would I consider an EV conversion for Zephyr when they eventually start doing RVs? That would, it would be freaking cool, but I don't.
If someone wants to sponsor said conversion, maybe. I am not investing in it.
Yeah, no, and the kind of plans we have for the future of Zephyr, I don't see that working out, but I'm looking forward to the age of really super cool electric RVs.
Definitely awesome technology, but we're not planning to do many miles in Zephyr, so that would be a very expensive conversion for little gain for us. So basically Zephyr will be going from the storage lot to our lot, and maybe some roaming around deserts, Arizona.
Yeah, we've done our cross country trips in Zephyr, and probably we're enjoying the cross country trips by van and then desert life with Zephyr. So that's probably going to be the way we continue things. So it probably doesn't make sense to do a major engine overhaul in Zephyr. I'm just happy the engine keeps working.
But hey, if you're an engineer who wants to do an engine conversion on a vintage bus,
talk to us.
And you want to fund it, we might be interested.
And we have a question. The unexpected fire missed the first 30. Are we planning to do the whole loop or just a piece?
Yes. We're not planning any specifics. So the way we worded it earlier was that we might do something that eventually ends up looking like the Great Loop.
And maybe it all happens in 1 year, maybe 2. But we're going at we're at least right now planning to go at a much faster pace than when we were doing it before, because we're just feeling like a faster pace now, and we're no longer trying to juggle working full time like we were before, or working more than full time. Now we're only trying to juggle working half time, so still a lot to juggle. But hey, Stinkpot!
Hey, Stinkpot!
We're so sad that they put another boat in your slip. They were our neighbors on the dock until just a few days ago, and
have been for the last on and off for 2 years. We've been dock neighbors here.
And you saw Dave playing in that little intro video clip. He's performing at the Irish pub. But now he's taking his show on the road. He's actually going to be cruising, headlining a cruise through Norway. So taking his show
on Stinkpot.
Not on Stinkpot. No, on a cruise ship. And so they're taking Stinkpot up north. Maybe we'll cross paths with them up in the Chesapeake.
Yeah, so, yes. I'm really looking forward to crossing paths, and maybe we'll do a little bit of cruising together as they head north as well. So
we've loved cruising and all our time on the water with Stinkpot. So yay, Stinkpot, or we call it when we're together Stinknot.
So
Stinknot.
Dave and Stacy have a Bayliner 38-foot, so kind of a little they're
older,
but little sister of Why Not? So it's really cute. So we call it Stinknot when we're together.
Yeah, we actually tie our boats up side by side. Yeah, we've had some really good fun on the river with them. So looking forward to seeing you guys. We've been watching your dot moving down the river, so we'll be following you a month behind. See you guys. I think we're caught up on questions. We're going to wrap this one up. We've got the little intro video. If anybody who missed it, we've got some scenes of our last few months of having fun adventures in Sanford. So we're going to play that as the outro, and then we'll see you on the next live.
We look forward to seeing you guys hopefully more often from here on out.
Yeah, so hit the buttons and do the things.
As always, if you have ideas for topics you want us to cover, leave them in the comments, and we will take it under consideration.
And if you have tips on where to store a van for a safe time for a full season, let us know that as well. So looking forward to hearing from you all, and see you down the road and down the waterways. Take care. Okay, we almost forgot the most important thing. There was no Kiki here, and we saw that pop up in the comments.
Thank you, Sabina, for the reminder.
Yes.
Your Valentine says hi. Kiki was sleeping. This is her nap time, so
So yeah, before we play the outro, we'll start it again in just a second. But yes, Kiki has to make an appearance because she is the admiral of our fleet. So yes, there's Kiki. She loves when she wakes up from a nap, then it just grabbed and snatched and thrown on camera. So
yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's Kiki. There she is. And now back to
your outro.
Back to the outro video. Cat interruption, because cats are always worth it. Take care.
and she was part is your part.